Hi guys, how we doing today? How is everybody? Hi. All right. I like to start by making sure there's somebody that I'm talking to somebody. Has anyone done one of these before? What do I do? What do I say? Put something in the chat. Am I talking to myself? I don't know. Is someone there? I can't tell. I can't see you. It's not how it works. Yeah, there's a chat function. Someone say hi. Somebody find the chat and say hi. Hi. You're not saying hi. There it is. Someone said hi. Hello. We're not starting until you say hi. Okay. Hi. Ooh. Right on. Well, some people found the chat. That's good. Hi, my name is Glenn. We're gonna be painting. What are we doing? I was just about to say, and then it popped up. We're gonna be painting a robin, a bird, right? We got some nice weather, right? Some of the birds are out. I think that's appropriate. We're gonna have this nice little robin hanging out on a twig, looking for worms. I think you can decide what he's looking for. Right. So, any questions that come up during the event, write them into the chat there, and I might see them. Hopefully, I see them, but I'm not gonna be looking this way. I'm gonna be looking this way, so I should see them. But yes, any comments, any questions, put them in the chat there. Very quickly, let's go over materials for today. Canvas. There you go. There it is. There's the canvas. You could paint this guy vertically. Portrait, that's portrait. That's landscape. That's fancy artist words for this way and that way. I'm going to do mine this way, right? You could go vertically as well. Whatever you want to do. We're going to need paint, of course, black, white, and primary colors, yellow, red, blue. Now, you could swap out those colors for something else if you wanted to. So if you've got extra colors, if you've got some greens, if you've got purples, whatever you want to put in there, you can put other stuff in there. That's fine. That's what I'm going to be using though. 3 brushes. I use 3 brushes. Again, whatever you've got, that's fine. Use that. You got a toothbrush? Sure. Use a toothbrush. Why not? It's probably a bad idea, but sure. I've got a big brush. It's about the size of my thumb size brush. I've got another one. It's about the size of my pinky size brush. And I've got another brush. It's a little smaller, something with a fine tip on it for getting sharper lines. So those are my 3 brushes. Water for rinsing your brush between colors. Paper towel for drying your brush or cleaning up any mess that you might have. And a palette for mixing, of course. And that palette could be paper plate, piece of cardboard, Tupperware, lid, whatever. I'm not, look at it. I'm not picky. I'm not picky. I do have a really fancy palette though. Look at this. Nice. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get that background on here, and the background really could be any color. You could put whatever you want on here. I like blue. I think blue is a good color. It's going to be the sky, right? But of course, it could be orange or yellow, right? For a sunset, sundown. It could be kind of a purpley sky, like it's starting to get dark. It could be green, like you're looking through the trees and you can see some leaves in there. You could be green. So whatever color you want. I'm going to do blue. I'm going to do blue back here. Now, the first thing I want to do before I get paint on here is I want to take my large brush, put a little bit of water on there so it's nice and wet, and get a little bit of water on your canvas here. Dip, spread it around, dip, spread it around. I don't need this soaking wet, right? I don't need it soaking wet. And it doesn't have to be, I don't have to have the whole thing covered in water. It's okay if there's little dry patches here and there. Don't worry about it. So get a bit of water on there and smear it around. Now we're gonna, for this background, we're gonna thin the paints down so that it's not a really bright, intense blue back here. It's just like a soft blue. Some of the white of the canvas back here is showing through. Right, nice and soft. Maybe it looks like clouds. There we go. So a little bit of water right on the canvas. There we go. That was easy. Easy. Alrighty. Now I'm going to use blue paint, and I don't need a lot here, just a little dot, like the size of a chocolate chip. Little dot of blue paint. And I'm going to pick up some of this blue paint with my brush, my big brush, still the big one. My big brush is a little bit damp from putting that water on there, and the canvas is damp. So this isn't going to go on very solid, right? I'm going to put this on, and then already I can start to see it's starting to bleed a little bit, right? The color's starting to spread across the water. So I can start brushing this in. I'm not adding more paint yet, right? I'm just brushing this in. I'm just smearing it around. Smear. And there we go. I've got this little spot of blue here. I'm not done. I want more. More. A little more blue. Put another swipe on there. Spread it around. If it's not spreading, maybe your canvas is too dry. Get a little more water on your brush. And there, look at that. Now it's starting to spread again. That's what I want. Right? Nice and soft. A couple little spots of blue here. There we go. That's enough paint. And start spreading this around. You can be scribbly with this part. Scribbly. Like that. And then afterwards, just go back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. And it just smooths it all out. There. Nice. Another technique you can do here. You see this brush? No, you don't, because I just put it down. Dip your fingers in the water. And use your fingers here. There, a little blue paint on your fingers. Spread it around. There. Now I have some areas over here where I didn't get any blue. That's okay. I kind of like that. I like that. Maybe I'll get some water over here. It'll bleed over a little bit, but I didn't get any blue over here. I got some over here. I can bring this around the side a little bit. There. That's okay. That's nice. I like that. All right, I think I'm done. Done with this background. My hand's blue now. That's why I've got an apron. There we go. Okay. Now I'm just going to let this dry just for a second before we get on to painting our robin. You can take another painting or a book or a magazine, and you can do this. Right, you can wave a little bit of air past it to get it to dry faster. That's a good idea. This is a bad idea. This is a, don't do this. That's a bad idea. You're gonna splatter paint everywhere. I didn't do it. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. All right. Now, when you use water like this with paint, it tends to dry a little faster because water dries faster than paint. Big, thick globs of paint, that takes a while to dry. But when it's thin and spread out and you use some water like that, it dries a little faster. So this won't take long. It's going to dry pretty fast. In the meantime, we can think about our little Robin that we're going to put on here. Any size is fine. He could be just a little guy down here. He could be the whole painting. He could be taking up the whole area. It doesn't matter. Any size is fine. I'm going to aim for something about that big, maybe half the height of the canvas. That's what I'm thinking of right now. And I want him to be in the middle and maybe to the right and down a bit. Maybe down here just a little bit, so that when he's looking this way, he's got some area to look into. Yeah, maybe a little higher, maybe middle right. Okay. Now, if your background is still wet, that's fine for now. Yeah, that kind of worked. It's okay if this is a little bit wet. That's fine. If it's dripping wet still, maybe give it a second. Maybe wait another second. The next step we're going to do is red paint. We don't need a ton of red. So again, another maybe 2 chocolate chips worth. Yeah, about 2 chocolate chips worth. That's my measurement system, chocolate chips and Hershey Kisses. This is not a Hershey Kiss. This is like 2 chocolate chips. Yeah. I'm going to switch to my pinky brush now. If you want your smaller brush, if you have something else you want to use, that's fine. Use that, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to use my pinky one. No water. So my brush is dry. My canvas is almost dry. I'm going to pick up that red paint. Here we are. I'm going to stand over here, not to the side. And I want my guy to be right about here. Right about there. So I'm going to put an oval right here, and the oval is going to be a little bit to the side. Right, like it's tipped over a little bit. That's about this size and shape of an egg. Maybe a skinny egg. There, that's better. Yep. And again, it's tipped over. It's tipped over a little bit. There we go. There's my egg. Now, as that dries, right, if it looks a little bit purple, after it dries, you can take a little more red paint and brighten it up, especially the belly, which is going to be over here. But that's fine for me right now. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. I'm going to leave it alone. Now I'm going to rinse off my pinky brush because I want to use it again. So we can rinse, paper towel, dry it off. There we go. Okay. I'm going to forget it's there. I just put it in my pocket. In about 1 minute, I'm going to ask where my brush is because I've lost it. It's right here. Someone get ready to tell me. It's next, we're going to do gray. We're going to get the head and the wing and the tail in gray. But first, who's painted with me before? What's coming? What's coming? What am I going to do? In between steps, sometimes I tell blending, drawing, very good guess. No, I tell bad, yeah, there it is, lame jokes. Some bad dad jokes, right, to keep us happy. Blending and drawing. We're not blending. It is drawing while I tell lame jokes. Okay, here it is. We're doing a bird theme right now, right? Bird theme. When's a good time to buy a bird? When's a good time to buy a bird? When it goes Cheap. Ah, it goes cheap. Oh, so good. Okay, gray. We're going to put gray on here now. About 50-50, about equal parts black and white for this gray. If you had to make a mistake and make it a little bit lighter or darker, I would say probably better to make it a little bit lighter. Err on the side of too light, but aiming for about equal parts black and white. Now we're mixing two colors together, so don't put a giant blob of black and a giant blob of white, right? Just a little bit of black, a little bit of white. There we go. And I'm going to start mixing this. And I'm going to use my pinky brush again. And let's see what happens. Well, that's about, I was about to say, I think it's too dark, it's too, oh, no. It's mixing. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's what I like. If you think maybe it looks too dark, right, you can add a little more white. Don't go nuts with it. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's about right. I'm happy with that. I'm just scraping some of this excess paint off my brush here. There we go. Gray paint. The next part I want to get is the head. Right, the head's going to be smaller than the body. Of course, it's going to be up here, and it's going to be a little bit forward. Right, he's leaning forward a little bit, so it's over here, right about over here. That's not it. That's too small. That's not it. And it's just sitting on top of the oval, and maybe it crosses over top of the oval a little bit. So here we are. And the way I like to do circles is just get it started, little squiggly like this to get it started. And then I rotate my brush. I'll squish the brush in and twist it so that one edge of the bristles are sweeping around. That's what I do. That's still too small. I can see it. It's still too small. Right? That's okay. Start too small. Start with too small. You see how I did that? I'm going to do it to the camera over here. It's going to be really annoying, right? You squish the brush in, and then you kind of rotate like that. That's how I do it. I even did that without getting paint on the camera. Good job, Glenn. A little bigger. A little bigger. Yeah, I think that's there. I think I got her. Yeah, I can always make it bigger later if I want. There we go. There's my circle for the head. Next, I want to join this head shape with the back. So the back, this is the back, that's the front, right? That's the face over here. This is the back on this side. On the back, a little swoop from the back of the head going down towards the back there. See how I just kind of joined? A little line going back, and I joined that. I also want a line on the bottom going across. There. I'll even bring that a little closer so you can see. It kind of looks like a teardrop shape if you turn it upside down and sideways, right? So it comes back to a point. That's his neck. Now we're going to go down the back. So following that curve, following that oval, going down, and then I go a little bit too straight, like oops, oops, I went outside. That's what I want to do, right? That's going to be his wing down there, right? So across the back, And kind of swoops down a little bit. There's the back of the wing. Next, I want to get his shoulder, like that. His shoulder. His shoulder is right here. Little scoop here, little curve there. And then go back to that point over here, back to the tip of the wing there. And then you can just fill in that whole area. There we go. Again, I'll bring that closer. There's his wing. That's too far to the side. There we go. There we go. There's his wing. Next, we're going to get his tail feathers. That's not it. I'm just fixing the wing. I wasn't happy with it. There we go. Tail feathers. They're not going straight down, right? They're going back. They use them for balance, so they're going to be going back a little bit like that. Yeah. I like to line up my brush when I'm trying to figure out where's that line? Where do I want them to be? I use my brush handle. Yeah, right about there. Yeah. So from here, a line going straight back. And then kind of underneath his butt over here, a line going to that point there. So it tapers as it goes down, right? Like a long carrot, right? It's a little thicker up here. And then it goes down and then it tapers. It's not a perfect point at the end. It's a little bit rounded. That's okay. Yep. There it is. There's the tail. Maybe a little fatter. There. There's the tail. Right on. We are done with gray. So you can rinse off your brush again. Rinse with rinse. Rinse. Dry paper towel. There. So I'm done with this brush for now. I'll come back to it later. I'm going to go with my small brush now. The next thing I want to do is yellow. I want to get his beak. Robins have very bright yellow beaks. By the way, there's lots of different kinds of robins. This is an American robin, which I'm in Edmonton, so I think that's the right one. That's the one we have here. So I'm going to use my yellow paint now. Again, we don't need a ton of this paint. Just a little dot. Throw a little dot down. Small brush. And sometimes I find when my small brush is dry, let me put my palette down. I need my other hand. When my small brush is dry, the bristles are kind of like flared out crazy like this. But if I get a bit of water on it and then I pull them, I can pull them in nice and tight. Right? So it's a bit flared out like that, but then I can get it wet. And then I can pull on them just gently. And there, now I've got a nice, there we go, nice sharp tip to work with. All right, yellow paint. Just get a little bit of yellow paint on the tip of the brush. And I want to figure out first, where is that beak? It's right about there. Just going to put a little dot here, just so I know where it is. Right about the middle of the head. And I want my guy looking, he's looking down for a worm. So actually that dot's going to be a little bit lower. It's going to be a little bit lower down here. It's going to be looking down a little bit. All right, so from there, pull that little dot outwards, not too far. It's okay to make it too small, right? We can make this beak bigger. A little more paint. Pull that paint outwards. So now it just looks like a line. That doesn't look like a beak. It looks like a line. That's weird looking. It needs to be more of a triangle shape. So that's fine. Now I can pull the top out, pull the bottom out a little bit, getting this triangle shape. Yeah, that's looking better. There we go. There. Now the beak doesn't stop right at the head. It actually goes back into the head a little bit. So I'm going to do like a little triangle going backwards, or a little rounded shape going backwards. There we go. Either a little curve or a blob or a backwards triangle. There we go. There's my beak. There's my beak for now. And you might be noticing this yellow might not be covering very well. Yellow tends to be a little bit transparent, right? It's a bit lighter. It's a bit see-through. So you might be able to see some of the blue and some of the gray through that. That's fine. Later on, we can add more yellow. We can go over top of that with another layer. So I'm going to leave this yellow on my palette. I'm going to rinse off my little brush again. Dry it off on the paper towel. There we go. And now I want to go with black. We're going to use black paint. Another little dot of black. And I want to outline them. I want to get a nice outline going around here. So we can go all the way around him into the wing, get that shape going back into the wing there. Maybe the beak, leave it alone. Do that part last. We'll get back to that. So I'm going to outline them. And if my line's a little bit wiggly, I don't mind that actually. I think that, that looks okay. If it's a little bit wiggly, it doesn't have to be perfect. I want a little more black. Here we go. So I'm going to start up here on the head. There we go. And if you end up with some little flicks going off the end like this, almost like it happens accidentally, like oops, oops. I'll bring that closer. I think that just kind of looks like he has like some feathers sticking up on top of his head a little bit, right? So it's okay if this line's a bit scratchy looking. Down the back. There we go. I'm going to go back in towards the beak here. I'm going to get underneath the head. Like that. Do a little curve. I'll bring this closer again. I know I'm showing you black over top of gray. It's hard to see. Down the wing. And there we go. Here we go. Still using black, going down the tail. And again, there's big feathers in the tail. So if it's a little bit off, not crazy, just a little bit off, like a little jagged, I think that's okay. That looks kind of nice, actually. You see that? How the back of my tail? It's not quite a straight line. It's a little bit, trying to not get the glare. There we go. See, it's a little bit crooked. That's okay. Maybe some of the feathers are sticking out at a funny angle. Under here, under the butt. There. There's the bottom. And along the chest here. I got to make a dumb face. When you're really concentrating, you got to make a funny face. That's a rule. Okay, there we go. There's my outline. I still need to do that beak, but it's still a bit wet, so I'm going to leave that alone again. I'll come back to that. I'm going to get his eye. I'm going to get his eye now. Now his eye is, I'll kind of get it on there. That's too small. But it's going to be right about there. Right? It's kind of behind the beak and a little bit higher than center line. Put a little dot. Put a little dot there and then think about it and say, is that about the right spot? Should it be higher, lower? Right? And then you can make it bigger. If it's in the right spot, then you can just make it bigger. No problem. But if you say, oh, that's way too high, then when you make it bigger, just make it bigger on the bottom. Right? So you can adjust a little bit. Now, a real robin, that's already a little too big. But I like big eyes on my animals. I think they look cute with big eyes. So I'm going to make it a little too big. There we go. A little too big. There it is. Still thinking about that beak. I'm going to give it one more minute while I get this guy's feet. I'm going to get his feet next. So the feet, the legs, right, they're going to be sticking out, but they're not parallel. They're not both going the same direction. One's going down at an angle, and then the other one's going forward, right, because he's got his legs spread out. So he can have a good grip on this branch that is not on here yet, but it will be. So from right underneath, way underneath here, little line, maybe about 45-degree angle coming out, and then further over here, another little line coming out that way. Now at the end, you can put little claws on there. That's fine. We are going to get the branch soon, but we can start by getting a few claws on there, little feet claws. Claw, claw, claw. There we go. And that branch will run through there. There we are. He looks like he's floating. I know, it's weird. He'll look better once we get that branch on. The beak next. Outline the beak. There. There. And there. There we go. The next thing we're going to do with black is the branches. So I want to switch once again back to my little brush, my pinky brush for this. These branches are going to be a bit bigger. Still using black for this. I want black branches. And I know I need a branch running through here, right? Otherwise he's going to be floating. So I'm just going to get that on there right now. Boop. There. That's where the branch is going to go, right there. After that, I can decide which direction it's going. I think my trunk is going to be over here somewhere. So this branch will be a little thicker on this side and skinnier on this side. And it can wiggle. It doesn't need to be a straight line. Like maybe it's like that. And then it does something like that. And then it goes off the edge. This end here, maybe it goes down, maybe it goes right, and then off the bottom. That way. Maybe there's a little stump. Like there was a branch here, it broke off. There. Maybe there's a little intersection, a little Y. Y. Where's it going to go? Where should it go? It should go... No, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, I'm going to leave it for now. Maybe I'll change my mind. I'm going to thicken up this end. Right, this is the end, the thicker end that goes towards the tree over here. So this is going to be thicker. Make this a little thicker. And then it gets nice and thin towards the end. Perfect. Yep, I think that looks great. And we can add some more branches, right? I can add another one over here. Maybe this one comes over like this. little more paint. And it's okay for these branches to cross over too, right? That's allowed. There we go. It's a little bit thicker on this side. Maybe right here, that's another little intersection. It Y's off this way. There we go. Maybe there's a branch that comes down here as well, and from the top. Something like that. However your branches go, that's up to you. Right, take a look at it and you decide. They don't have to run all the way off the canvas. Right, this guy here, he's going to stop. He's going to stop right there. Yeah, I think that's good for branches. I'm happy with that. All righty, there's my bird. I've got the outline. I've got my branches on there. There's only two things left to do here. Number one, I can go back to my little brush. I can take a look at that beak, and if I want to, I can add some more yellow to it to brighten it up. Now, if this black outline is still wet, and then you try and put that yellow on and you accidentally touch the black, you're going to pick up that black, it's going to smear into there, and it's going to turn gray, kind of yellowy gray. So if your black is still wet there, don't do it. Don't do it. Wait. Don't be impatient. Wait a little longer. I'm too impatient. I can't do it. I got to do it now. Oh, Glenn, don't mess this up. Everyone's watching. Okay, I think I did it. There we go. There. Nice bright beak. We got one step left. That was a tiny step. We got one teeny tiny step left. And then we're done. It's my favorite part. Anytime we do a little animal, it's my favorite part. What is it? Actually, before we do that, we need another joke. How come? Again, we're doing bird themes, right? Flamingos. How come flamingos stand with one leg tucked up? How come flamingos? Your name, sign it. Yes, right. We got to sign it too. That's right. You're right. We do. How come flamingos stand with one leg up? Because if they stood with both legs up, they'd fall down. They'd fall over. Da 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 da. Oh, funny guy. Funny guy, Glenn. All right. We got to get that little dot in the eye, the little glare in the eye. It's so cute. Even if that black is a tiny bit wet, that's okay. Now what you can do is you can take your paint for this part, and you know, this is on you. Don't make a mess. Giving you some responsibility here. But you can take the lid off of your paint like that. I've got a different looking white here. Looks like this, but same thing, right? You can take the lid off, and then instead of having to put paint on the palette, and then the paint from the palette on your brush, and then from your brush onto the, right, we can just cut out the middleman and just take your lid with the white paint. Take your little brush, but we're going to use the wrong end of the brush, like we're dumb, right? Wrong end of the brush, using the handle. Dip it in the paint, right? Like you're putting a little hat on your brush. There it is there. No, that's too close. You can't see that. There we go. Put a little hat on your brush, a little bit of white paint, and just very gently put a little dot in the top right corner. Still inside the circle, but in the top right corner. Don't put your hand in the wet paint, Glenn. Don't do it. Put a little dot, very gently There, and you get a nice little circle. Now, I'm a fan of the double glare. So that's the bigger dot. I want another tiny dot. Let me bring this closer. You can see where it is, right? I want one more dot, kitty corner to that one. So this one's in the top right. I want the bottom left, even smaller. It's just barely gonna touch. Just right. You gotta make a dumb face. Yeah. There. And there's the double glare on the eye. Oh, look at that eye. Look at how cute he is. Oh. Put the lid back on your paint before you dump it. Spill it. Do it now. And that's it. That's it for the painting. You got to sign it. Of course, right? Yeah. I want to do red. I think I should do red. And usually you sign the bottom somewhere. Usually not like the middle or the top, but but it's your painting. You do what you want. Some artists go bottom left, some go bottom right. I usually go bottom right, but I think today I'm going to go over here. I think over here is the right spot. So I'm going to sign over here. You do your signature however you want. It can be your full name. It can be your initials, right? I'm really lazy. Like, oh, 3 initials, that's too much. 2 initials? No, that's even that's too much. That's too hard. I'm just doing 1 initial. Lowercase g. That's it. Anything more than that, that's too much work. There, it's my little lowercase g. And we did it. Good job, guys. Okay, I got one more joke for you. One more. It's a bit cruel. All right. What's black and white? And black and white and black and white and black and white and black and white? It's a penguin falling down the stairs. Da 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 da. Okay. That's it. That's it, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I hope your painting turns out awesome. I'm sure it did. Show it to your friends. Brag about it. Put it on your wall. Right on. And thank you so much to Kids Up Front for bringing me in. You guys have a nice day. Enjoy some nice weather. And I hope to see you guys again. Thank you so much. Bye.